A study of the patriarchs and matriarchs reveals that they were very imperfect people, but blessed by God because of faith. This should be an encouragement to us who are likewise very imperfect, but trust in God. Why was Abram's name changed to Abraham? Why is he called Father Abraham? Let's look at Genesis 12 through 25 and the life of a patriarch of our faith. In Genesis 12, God said to Abram 6 times, "I will." The Lord said to Abram, "Leave your land, your family, and your father's household, for the land that I'll show you. I will make of you a great nation, and will bless you. I will make your name respected, and you'll be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. Those who curse you, I will curse. All the families of the earth will be blessed because of you." At age 75, Abram left a comfortable life in Haran because he believed God's promise. "I will give this land to your family forever." The whole point is Abram's faith, not any kind of sinless perfection, because he was far from perfect. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to Sarai his wife, "I know that you're a woman beautiful in appearance, and when the Egyptians see you, they'll say, 'This is his wife.' Then they'll kill me, but they'll let you live. Say you're my sister, that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared for your sake." Abram had a large herd of animals. The land couldn't hold both his and Lot's herds, so they separated. Revealing his character, Abram let Lot choose the best land. "Isn't the whole land before you? Separate yourself, I pray you, from me. If you'll take the left hand, then I'll go to the right, or if you depart to the right hand, then I'll go to the left." Lot chose the greener, sin-filled plains, but eventually needed rescue. Eastern kings attacked, captured Lot and his family. With hundreds of fighting men, Abram saved them. Then he met Melchizedek, king of Salem, Jerusalem, a priest of God. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has handed over your enemies to you." And he gave him 1/10 of everything. God blessed Abram, and despite his human faults, he's counted as righteous because he believed the Lord. He took him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them." Then he said to him, "So shall your offspring be." Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. His belief was not perfect, though. Sarai used her handmaid as a surrogate, and Abram complied. Ishmael was the result. As you can imagine, Abram's family life became pretty messed up because of that. Yet God changed Abram's name from High Father, Abram, to Father of a Multitude, Abraham, and Sarai's name from Princess, Sarai, to the Princess, Sarah. God instituted circumcision as a sign of the covenant, and promised a son via Sarah. Both laughed in mockery that God would give to old people a son. So God gave them a constant reminder of that laughter. Yitzhak, or Isaac in Hebrew, means he laughs. But God said, "No, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you shall name him Isaac." He laughs. "And I'll establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him." A heavenly trio visited Abraham, promised a son, and shared God's plans for Sodom. Abraham asked, what if there were 50, 45, 40, 30, or 20 righteous people there? Finally, Abraham said, "Lord, please don't be angry with me if I speak one more time. Suppose only 10 are found there." And the Lord replied, "Then I will not destroy it for the sake of the 10. Lesser-known sins of Sodom include pride, idleness, and neglect of the poor and needy. Look, this was the iniquity of your sister Sodom. She and her daughter had pride, fullness of food, and abundance of idleness. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. Their more well-known sin was sexual. But before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, surrounded the house, both young and old, all the people, from every quarter. They called to Lot and said to him, "Where are the men who came into you this night? Bring them out to us, that we may have sex with them." The angels rescued Lot from the town mob, struck them blind, and the next morning destroyed the city. The family situation became very tense after Abraham had a child with the household servant Hagar. So Sarah was exasperated by the whole sordid affair and wanted Abraham to send Hagar and her son Ishmael away. God said to Abraham, "Don't be upset about the boy and your servant. Do everything Sarah tells you to do, because your descendants will be traced back through Isaac. But I'll make of your servant's son a great nation too, because he's also your descendant." In this, God shows his great mercy, even upon this very messed up family situation and the sins of his faithful people. We must learn not to judge, because even the most faithful of God's servants have glaring faults. Though Abraham was faithful to God, like us, he was faulty. He repeated his sin of deception in Egypt with Abimelech. So God warned Abimelech in a dream, "Now return the man's wife. He's a prophet. He'll pray for you so you may live. But if you don't return her, know that you and everyone with you will die." Abraham was flawed, but he obeyed God. Abraham had faith and obeyed God. He was told to go to the land that God had said would be his, and he left for a country he had never seen. He was tested for his willingness to sacrifice his son in a way that reminds us of the cross. By faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, and he who had received the promises was in the act of offering up his only son, of whom it was said, "Through Isaac shall your offspring be named." Though far from perfect, Abraham had a kind of righteousness credited by faith, and the scripture was fulfilled which says, "Abraham believed God, and it was imputed to him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God." Though perhaps born in a different nation that doesn't have God's law as its heritage, all who have the faith of Abraham are his successors, because he's a father to all believers. So the promise is received by faith. It's given as a free gift, and we're all certain to receive it, whether or not we live according to the law of Moses, if we have faith like Abraham's. For Abraham is the father of all who believe. That's what the scriptures mean when God told him, "I've made you the father of many nations." This happened because Abraham believed in the God who brings the dead back to life and who creates new things out of nothing. Will you have a change of heart and mind, and like Abraham believe the good news of God's reign? You decide.